O Canada, our home and native land, true patriot love in all thy sons command. With glowing hearts we see thee rise, the true north strong and free. From far and wide, O Canada, we stand on guard for thee. God keep our land glorious and free. O Canada, we stand on guard for thee. O Canada, we stand on guard for thee.
We live in a country that values freedom, in a society that recognizes the dignity of every person. We live in a time of peace. We have been blessed. We have been given the opportunity to learn in a school that believes in excellence, by people of wisdom and compassion. We have been blessed. We have been supported by family, accompanied by friends, and challenged by the world around us to grow through our experiences. Let us enter this present moment with grateful hearts, mindful of what we have received, for we have a future filled with hope. We have been truly blessed. Amen.
Please be seated. Mr. Chancellor, Mr. Vice Chancellor, members of the board, fellows, faculty and staff, family and friends, and graduands, welcome to the celebration of Convocation at the University of Guelph. I'd also like to extend a special welcome this morning to our Convocation speaker, Dr. Francis Jerome. I'm Maureen Mancuso, the Provost and the Vice President Academic at the University, and I'm privileged to have the honor of opening this ceremony on behalf of the University. And I'd like to officially congratulate you, our graduands, on your momentous achievement. I hope you will join me in thanking the many people, family, friends, and mentors who have supported, encouraged, and assisted you in the pursuit of your studies. Today we mark the end of one chapter of your lives and the beginning of a new one. You made it here today through years of effort and hard work. And now it's time to turn toward other goals and new challenges of increasing complexity and impact. Your journey of learning did not begin here at Guelph, nor does it end here today. If anything, it builds upon your experiences of the last few years to become more arduous, more enlightening, more productive, and more fulfilling. You came here to develop the possibilities and resources of your own minds. You came here to change your lives, to devote some time to learning essential skills and acquiring knowledge, to challenge yourself and extend your capabilities. Here, in our community of scholars, you had the freedom to learn about the world and to learn about yourself. We hope you learned a great deal about how you will fit into and affect the world. We hope you see your path more clearly and that you see how your contributions on that path can lead to a better world. We have tried to help you prepare by opening your eyes to ideas that you might not have encountered, cultures of which you were unaware, perspectives that complement and sometimes contrast with your own. We have tried to help you to think critically, to reject simplistic answers to complex questions, and to refuse the empty satisfaction of half-truths and partial solutions. Ultimately, we have shared with you one fundamental lesson: there's always more to learn. It's now up to you to start applying that lesson and those skills. We send you forth as representatives of the University of Guelph. We know you will make us proud, and we hope you're proud to wear the Guelph name. As you probably noticed, even when you were first applying to universities, we eagerly call attention to the exploits of our graduates. Be one of those people whose accomplishments we trumpet. Be someone who makes a mark on the world, someone who demonstrates the power and the potential of higher education. Take this responsibility seriously, because to quote my favorite fake president, the West Wing's Jed Bartlett, decisions are made by those who show up. So now I say to you graduates, flush with the pride and powers of the finest education we know how to provide, show up. Show up in your own lives and live them critically, live them wisely. Show up in the lives of others, family, friends, and strangers, and make them better, directly or indirectly, however you can. Show up in the world, not just as pictures on Facebook, but as someone who makes a difference, even if that difference is harder to discern and doesn't go viral on YouTube. Most especially, show up as active, aware, caring citizens of your country, your city, and your world. And this week, that includes voting in our provincial election. Wherever your future leads you, please don't forget that even though you may no longer be on campus, you are still part of our community. Your association with Guelph, like your journey of learning, is lifelong. We hope that you feel welcome to return from time to time to share your accomplishments and experiences with your fellow alumni, your former professors, and the future students who will follow in your footsteps. And so once again, I bid you welcome, enjoy this ceremony, take pride in what it represents, and remember all of those who have helped to make this day possible. I offer you my personal congratulations and every best wish.
Francis Charome is a professor emeritus in the Department of Molecular and Cellular Biology at the University of Guelph. I am pleased to invite Dr. Francis Charome to give the convocation address.
Well, congratulations to you all. Today's a big day. You've worked hard and succeeded in your goal of earning a bachelor's degree. If you think back to the first few weeks when you arrived at the University of Guelph, I'm sure that many of you will recall it as a somewhat scary time. Hordes of other students, large intimidating classes, high academic expectations. You're a very different person now. You've matured, you've learned to think for yourself, you've expanded your horizons. Now you're ready to move on to the next stage of your life, where that important word career is front and center. Today I'd like to share with you some lessons that I've learned over my adult life, most of which has been spent at this university, where I completed my BSc degree almost 40 years ago. First, find something you're good at and enjoy doing. I found out in high school that I liked chemistry and was good at it too. My parents, who were biologists, had a strong influence on me, and I found I somehow wanted to connect chemistry to living systems. In the late 1960s, biochemistry at the molecular level was not even on the radar screen of most high schools. So I only found out about its existence when I received an award that consisted of a book written by a biochemist. It opened up a whole new world for me. It described proteins and enzymes in an understandable and exciting way, and I knew immediately that I wanted to enter this world and become a biochemist. Maybe you've already found what you want to do. Maybe you haven't. If you haven't, keep on looking. Always keep in mind that building your career may be hard work, but it should be fun too, or you won't find it very satisfying. Next, develop your skill set and build a network. Biology graduates such as you are able to carve out unique pathways for successful and very diverse careers. Business, public service, and the charitable sector all require competent individuals who are thinkers, problem solvers, innovators, and most importantly, leaders. Your university education has equipped you for the challenge ahead, but you'll also need to develop a skill set that goes beyond just knowledge and technical expertise. Employers are looking for communication skills, time and project management, the ability to work as an effective member of a team, and analytical skills. So consider building a network of contacts outside your local environment. If you have any contacts in business, government, and universities, reach out to them via a LinkedIn connection. Don't be afraid to make contact with the University of Guelph alumnus, meet them for coffee, discuss their career path. You never know where this may lead. Maintain contact with your university classmates the same way. You never know when you may be able to help each other, and it's a great way to keep in touch through all the inevitable moves and job changes that will come down the line. Expect the unexpected. Be flexible and adaptable. There's a lot of talk these days about making a very detailed career plan and then working towards it, but we never know what life is going to throw at us, or when an unexpected turn of events is going to spoil our best laid plans. Being flexible and adaptable will allow you to do well through the good times and the tough times. When opportunity knocks, open the door. Serendipity plays a bigger role than you might imagine in most people's lives and careers. Don't be afraid to take advantage of unexpected opportunities that come along. They may change your life. Mentors and partners are important. A supportive and understanding partner can play a key role in your success in life, as can a mentor. A mentor is someone who takes you under their wing, provides advice and encouragement, and helps you to develop your career. It could be your boss, a business or community leader, an experienced co-worker, or a university faculty member or staff member. Many people gain great personal satisfaction from being a mentor, so don't feel guilty that they're spending a lot of time on you. I've mentored a number of undergraduate and graduate students, postdoctoral fellows, and even junior faculty members during my years at Guelph, and I have always felt that it was a privilege to do so. When you move ahead in your career, don't forget about the importance of mentors. Pay it forward and become a mentor yourself. Make time for yourself. Work can be demanding, whether you're employed, doing postgraduate studies, or taking additional training. Don't let it become all-consuming. Make time for the things you enjoy that bring meaning to your life, whether it's photography, music, sports, painting, or running a blog. Many people have made new careers or found second careers by following their passion. Make time for your family and friends. They've supported you throughout your time here at Guelph and will continue to do so for many more years. The best repayment you can give them is your time. Last but not least, give back to the community, both local and international. The University of Guelph has a strong tradition of students supporting others, whether it's a United Way or a village in Botswana. Many of you have probably been involved in these activities while you were on campus, and now you will be leaving them behind. It's all too easy to forget about them when they're not organized for you. So wherever you live, try to stay connected to the local and international communities, whether it involves volunteering at your local food bank or writing letters for political prisoners on behalf of Amnesty International. Even small contributions like this can make our planet a better place. As Mahatma Gandhi said, be the change that you wish to see in this world. Finally, enjoy your trip through life. Be kind to others and yourself, and good luck.
Thank you, Francis, for those encouraging words. Well, the moment has arrived. Will the graduating class please rise? Mr. Chancellor, I have the honor to present to you these scholars who have fulfilled the statutory requirements laid down by the Senate of the University of Guelph that they may be admitted for the various and several degrees.
By virtue of the authority vested in me and in the University of Guelph, I hereby accept you for admission to your various and several degrees with all the rights, privileges, and obligations appertaining thereto.
Will members of the graduating class please be seated?
Ladies and gentlemen, before we begin the formal proceedings of Convocation, I have a small but significant request which was mentioned when you were taking your seats. Now, today is a day of great celebration and great excitement, and we hope that you will be as thrilled as we are. And it's perfectly understandable that when you see your graduate crossing the stage, you may want to express yourself, in some cases audibly, and that's fine. But we would ask you collectively to hold your applause till the very end, and I will give you the secret signal when you can spontaneously burst into rapturous applause. Thank you. Mr. Chancellor, I have the honor to present to you these scholars from the College of Biological Science, that they may be admitted to the degree of Bachelor of Science in the Honours Programme. Christina Andres. Lauren Catherine Arena. Benjamin Thomas Mackenzie Arpey. Jayesh Arseka. Julia Avrutsky. Carolyn Alex Blaskowitz. Haley Kathleen Bowman. Shaniqua Shauna Andrea Brown. With distinction, Erin Elizabeth Brunk. With distinction, Marty Dale Butler. With distinction, Mitchell Lawrence Keynes. With distinction, Leah Michelle Cantlin. Audrey Carrier. Kaylin Alexandria Chapman. Samantha Beverly Clark. Mark John Connor. Carrie Anna Costa. With distinction, Erin Creaser. Kathleen Crowley. With distinction, Natalie Teresa Dalbo. Chantal Adele Di Francesco. Nicole Maria Dimu. Melanie Dissanayaki. Lindsay Jane Dixon. With distinction, Sarah Vita Donato. Karina D'Souza. Samantha Duffers. Megan Duncan. Forrest Michelle Dussault. Haley Esden. With distinction, Ilias Etayabi. With distinction, Jordan Michael Fakuri. With distinction, Sabrina Irene Fell. Kyla Charlotte Ferguson. Anika Ferwerda. Julia Five. Sydney Joelle Frank. With distinction, Charlotte Emily Furbacher. With distinction, Scott Gibson. With distinction, Inayat Gill. With distinction, Jacqueline Quinn Gill. With distinction, Joshua Wilker Good. Caitlin Nicole Good. With distinction, Laura Joanne Graziano. With distinction, Melissa Gurney. Krista Ann Hamilton. Kelly Michelle Hanavan. With distinction, Justine Olivia Hobbins. Katie Holohan. With distinction, Kylie Page Holmes. Kimberly Hudson. With distinction, Jessica Caroline Patricia Hughes. With distinction, Amber Lynn Hutchinson. With distinction, Amira Nabil Ibrahim. Ariel Angela Illick. With distinction, Taylor Elise Impens. Brooklyn Dawn Indelicati. Benjamin Robert Irwin. Brent Aaron Irwin. Vinosha Jagatheswaran. Laura Elizabeth Johnson. Binay Karan Singh Kalra. With distinction, Michelle Kaufman. Jennifer Lewis Keys. With distinction, Rebecca Allison King. Sarah Whitney Kinney-Purdy. With distinction, Laura Caleb. With distinction, Joanna Kowalski. With distinction, Lisa Lanchevan. With distinction, Natalie Marcel Lapointe. Alexander Nicholas Lazier. Connor Linton. Megan Mary Craig Loft. Markian Boris Loza. Heather Elizabeth Macaulay. Diana Marie MacDonald. Anne Pascal McGregor. With distinction, Navneet Kaur Madar. Lindsay Ann Mainhood. Nicole Martini Makar. Rosemary Ann Martin. Ryan Nicholas Machek. With distinction, Kathy Matuszewska. With distinction, Megan Catherine Macaulay. With distinction, Megan Lynn Nicole McLean. Ryan James Aaron McWilliams. Sarah Ann Mitchell Ewart. Ashley Amber Grace Mitten. With distinction, Michelle Moon. With distinction, Larissa Shaylin Moore. Keely Elizabeth Mullins. Amy Lynn Nelson. Nicholas Oltanu. With distinction, Laura Ann Panther. Danielle Whitney Pardon. Vanessa Paveo. Christina May Peloso. With distinction, Kaylee Marie Poirier. With distinction, Megan Sheila Lynn Pounder. With distinction, Lauren Powell. With distinction, Sarah Ann Pratt. With distinction, Ross Clayton Proudfoot. With distinction, Michelle Nicole Pyle. With distinction, Julia Grace Quinn. With distinction, Catherine Elizabeth Reynolds. With distinction, Caitlin Marlena Robinson. Jose Antonio Rodriguez Camarena. With distinction, Holly Jean Rowlands. Emily Elizabeth Margarita Salisi. April Karen Sultan. Ryan Jeffrey Saunders. Anna Marie Cornelia Sharp. Lindsay Lauren Sendrowski. Megan Fran Shaughnessy. With distinction, Karina Shirazi. With distinction, Alison Irene Smith. Samantha Margaret Smith. Robin Speck. Melissa Spears. John Robert Eastwood Stedman. With distinction, Natalie Emma St. Hilaire. With distinction, Amanda May Stornebrink. Viola Stupakova. With distinction, Jade Marcella Sullivan. With distinction, Sarah Ann Sire. Carmen Cito. With distinction, Jessica Jordan Talbot. Laura Thiessen. With distinction, Chloe Diane Tupin. Sydney Dallas Joffrey Tupin. Lisa Danielle Trivers. Christine Marie Trottier. Nicole Visaggio. Paige Claire Vroom. With distinction, Jacqueline Daines Wallace. William Murray Walters. With distinction, Suzanne Dawn Whitmore. Matthew Roy Lewis Wiley. Brittany Mary Williams. Hilary Amelia Wilson. Rebecca Kerry Wong. Lindsay Renee Woods. With distinction, Andrea Nicole Yallin. Shaw Yang. Mr. Chancellor, I have the honour to present to you these scholars from the College of Biological Science that they may be admitted to the degree of Bachelor of Science in the general programme. James Joseph Willis Hodson. Ali Hoja. Lindsay Lehman. Kaylin Sarah Richard. Ladies and gentlemen, you've been perfectly restrained. It's time to raise the roof. Let's congratulate our graduates.
Can I ask you to put your hands together one more time for the dean, who did a great job with all the names? Mr. Chancellor, I would ask you to confer the various and several degrees on the graduates listed in the program, but unable to be at this ceremony.
By virtue of the authority vested in me and in the University of Guelph, I confer the various and several degrees in absentia on the graduates not present.
Mr. Chancellor, members of the platform party, well, you actually did it. So I'm going to ask you to stand up and turn round and applaud the very people who have supported you to get here. Well, you may think you've finished. You've done all the applause, you've done all the waving, you've got your parchment, the piece of paper that actually proves you've got the degree, and you'd be probably fairly sure to say you're good to go. But sadly not. Not quite, anyway. You have to sit here and listen to me just one last time in Memorial Hall. And the truth is that I can go on for hours and hours and hours. Actually, don't worry, I'm not going to be long. I really want to do just two things. I want you to look back for a moment. Think back to all of the things that you've done whilst you've been here at Guelph. All of the things you've learned, all of the people that you've met, all of the friends you've made. What would you say was the most incredible thing that happened to you? What would you think was the stupidest thing that you did? Well, from here it's amazing to see your faces, because as you recall those memories, shadows pass across your face when I say about something that is peculiar or silly. When I say remember something that was amazing, you can see the thing flash in your eyes. And then some of you, when I said about the stupid, had this twinkle in your eye. And some of you looked really, really sheepish, thinking I'd been creeping you on Facebook. What's important is that whatever they are, you should hold on to these memories. Don't ever forget them. Because much to the chagrin of those of us who profess here, your teachers, it's very, very unlikely that you will remember what went on in the third lecture of the third week of the third semester, or in fact, if truth be told, very little of what was taught in your classes. So what will you carry away from here? Well, I hope that it's much more than a parchment, much more than a string or a sheaf of notes. What I hope is that you will take away from here what it means to be part of a society, part of a group, and because of the particular university we're at, part of a herd that cares. Cares about the world, cares about the animals around you, and cares about the people. So I said there were two things that I wanted to do. The first was to look back, and knowing just how incredibly clever you are, you're all guessing what the second is, but you're wrong. Because the second is, I want to challenge you. I want to challenge you to be involved, to be engaged in the critical social, political, and humanitarian issues around the world. I want to ask you to work tirelessly for tolerance and understanding. When you see intolerance or see people failing to understand, do not be angry. Turn round and just use those skills that you have learned here to stamp out injustice, to fight for those people who cannot, to speak for those people who have lost their voices, and above all, care. Care for people and the planet around you, because it's only by caring that you will find a way to make a difference in this world. And sadly, we really need you. In a world that is riven with injustice, that is challenged by dogma and prejudice and disadvantage, our only hope is you. Do something. Do something about it. I don't care whether you are able or willing to take on the leadership on some of those incredibly and daunting tasks, or whether you just decide right here and now to do something every day to make somebody else's life better. How do you do that? It's really simple. you just smile at people. Just set out every day to smile at somebody that you don't know. Find ways to include people of all ages and stages, all genders and races, into everything that we all do to make this a better planet. So, take your parchment, take your values and ideals that you have learned here, take your friendships, take the love that was shown you by those people that waved back to you when you stood up, and get out of here. Those of us who are left behind will be watching you with great pride. I celebrate and salute your successes, and I wish you every success in the future. Thank you. Following Convocation, there will be a reception in the Science Complex atrium. I hope you'll take the time to attend and show people around and say thank you. Please remember to return your gowns at some stage, either here or over in the Science Complex. Take lots of pictures. Lots of pictures. They're actually part of those mementos, those memories that I talked about. And years later, when you come back for alumni weekend, when you are 20, 30, 50, or as we're going to do in a couple of weeks' time, have people come back who graduated 60 years ago from Guelph, you'll be able to pull out those pictures and talk about how amazing you looked at graduation. How long it took to twirl your hair so that it all falls down. How ridiculously stupid those heels were that you wore. And of course, in terms of the hair and the heels, I'm talking of the boys. Although there are very few of you. Take those pictures because they're very important for you to share with each other and in the rest of your lives. Just one last piece of advice. We have 22 ceremonies going on this week, which means that there's a whole wave of people out the back waiting to come in. So rather than be crushed by the tsunami of the next group, when the procession has left, let me repeat, when the procession has left, last time I said this, everybody just ran for the doors. When the procession has left, would you please exit by these doors here as quickly as possible so that the next group can come in? Thank you very much.
Convocation is dismissed.